Yo lads, what's up? Walrus here. I'm doing the podcast for the MJL Wednesday again because I'm a cool cat. Um, as you can see, I'm here joined with a bottle of cold beer and my new sunglasses. So, yeah, the game's in 1771, so I will show you a small timeline at the beginning of the game to show you how the game is going. Slowly we're entering the modern era days. Is someone actually watching? Otherwise, it would go AFK for a second. Yeah, that's it for the game. So let's go over to Yusugi. Yusugi is played by our wholesome Polish friends, now. 3/3 ruler, 2 for 6 air, as if mana would be relevant at that time frame. I don't really fucking know why you are at a goddamn Diplo focus in 1771. That's dumb, if you ask me. 945 income, which is pretty decent, like close to 1k. You still have pretty pocket estates. I guess you can still develop lots of land here. But imagine deving in 1771. It's like not worth it at all. Most of your stuff here is dev. Let's take a look at the power map mode. Yeah, as you can see, most of the world is green. Pretty cool. Most of your land is green as well. Like this snake is really odd, but I don't really know why you did it. If I would have to guess, it's because reasons. Like you have some troops here and there, like one combat stack worth of troops. And yeah, you're a member of the Asian Hotbox. Apman actually pretending to be at work. Shake my head. Yeah, let's go with different aspects of Yusugi. 28, 28, 28. Pretty decent looking on that front. Standard ideas, I would say. I guess I click the Bushido code on Divine Wind. Pretty much Divine Wind is pretty much irrelevant. Bushido code is pretty cool. Yeah, pretty much guess that it is everything for this nation. I don't really know why you're not calling stuff like West Gansu, which is like in completely fine state. So like you like points or something like that. So that's just odd. You're doing 15k. You're not using edicts. Oh, you are using manpower edicts everywhere. Besides East Shandong, Shenyang, Sanya, southern Kyushu, and in western Shubu. So yeah, that's pretty alright. Good, you should be a lot higher though. But it is what it is. Building wise, you're nearly fully built up. Here some training fields can be built manufacture wise as well. Like this is the usual building optimization at this point. Looking overall pretty decent. Let's take a look at the military site for one. Yeah, 9.76 and 124. You have the morale advisor at the current moment. Also running mill things. So yeah, pretty much nothing special, I guess. So the next tag I'm going to check is Monkey Man's Tang. And we all know that Tang is pretty cool. Of course, Monkey Man is having his standard Strict Ruler and Bold Fighter. Okay, you can take Tech 29, which is probably giving him nothing that relevant at this point. Probably like trade or admin ideas. I guess admin is better at this point. Always pretty standard 17k. He's also using edicts pretty much everywhere he can. So it's in some states where he's using local trade power because he's a cool ape. Yeah, on the military side he's noticeably weaker on the prestige, on the morale side than other people. He's only at 8.1 but 134% discipline. And can still take a useful advisor, which would put him at 8.7, which is alright, and his prestige is still a long way up. As well with army threat. Can also click all of this. And this will make him even stronger. And a pretty good, like a nation is pretty much guaranteed to roll 6-6 at this point. I guess you can see he's rolling 6 until 14. He's getting +4 fire, +3 shock, +1 maneuver, +1 siege. If you're asking me, that's utterly retarded. Just adds up to my and then of saying that China is massively overbuffed alongside Confucian. If you just take a look at the permanent modifiers, you get 5% ICA, 10% ICA, 1 later fire. No, this is so dumb, in my honest opinion. Otherwise, the nation is strong, is probably the strongest or second strongest in the world, if I would have to guess. So it's looking pretty cool. Also, a big part of the up block. So let's take a look at non-UA, which is the nation played by Sasuni. Sasuni actually relevant in late game G League. Only took 1 Borky to die early, like 60k cash. That's like tons of cash, but not that much overall. I'm a bit disappointed when it comes to that, TBH. Well, that's more or less because of the harsh trade in that region. Building the buy network on the Walrus, shake my head. Filling up diplomatic ideas for the POC idea. Like sometimes I ask myself, like, why do you need this mission? It's like really, really odd. I don't know how good song ideas actually are, so I just think these ideas are pretty good. Okay, like they're not great, but they're okay, good enough for late game. So why not? It's a quantity style nation. 14k. Let's take a look at the edicts. Also nearly full. Were people even dabbing at that point? That's just a waste of mana, pretty much. Outside of mail. Go for army prof. The Khan died this session. Yeah. Byzantium in India. Rest all of the northern area, which was one of the better deft areas. but the rest of his land is like not well developed. The nation is somewhat dead. It's still relevant on the warfare side, but you can just see that Hospitalier did not properly abuse the power spikes of the nation. And Brett Summer, who was actually the upper player of the country, did kinda good, but how should we say it? I think you could say that the Khan is just suffering the problem of single player India. I will never ever stop debating that, and I will say that single player India is never the correct way. I think like the correct way is having one guy in Lahore throw up Bengal, Burma, Siam, and the other guy in Gujarat, Deccan, Coromandel, and Hormuz, or Aden. Because then you can actually do stuff like if you would agree with someone else just properly played, I think you could do some insane things with India. But it's not as easy as it is with two people, one person alone. Otherwise pretty standard, but I'm not going to waste any time in this buck picture of Shakti. Take W. Yeah, Manchu also not putting a lot of time into it. I think I kept it from going bankrupt, but it's a horsey nation. And it's pretty small at this time because getting ganked. And I want to do a world war before the last session, so yeah, it is what it is, I guess. So next nation is it's Adu. Andalusia also 6, like tons of cash. Was pretty brain dead for most of it. Like I destroyed one of the forts here because he was under cancer siege down here. Don't get me wrong. So we having land here, Papak. Yeah, nations like is Andalusia. It has Acacia deers. It's alright, I guess. Like, if Andalusia actually had slightly better ideas, I would say it would be a good nation. Like, if instead of the Taifa administration, like, I know it has a good playstyle, or instead of Allah Wasim, it would have a better modifier. I think it would be pretty bug, PBH. Here also, yeah, it's a good, somewhat relevant nation. It's missing so much. Like, what is it supposed to do? Can't win a war against one of his neighbors. So next nation, I'm taking a look at Spain. But Danny Boy, and Danny Boy is a cool cat. Lost the war against Prussia, lost parts of the Venice node and parts of Genoa node. Still doing tons of cash. Can also take his last idea group. I paid fuck tons of ducats to get California. Colomdan, Ecuador, Argentina, Dangetina would have in pocket TBH. Yeah, on military side he's still like a powerhouse. But yeah, because of the prestige and some other stuff, he's just lagging behind. Cannot beat Prussia, he can beat Andalusia, he can beat France, he can. And that's it pretty much. He cannot beat Byzantium, Prussia, Brandenburg. So yeah. Maybe he can join the European power bloc in the last war. Because colonial nations are pretty cool, but you sadly you don't get to see a nation player unlike other people, like Lord Lomo. So yeah, let's take a look at Portugal or Ireland here. Yeah, pretty much infinite cash at this point, but still demanding tons of cash. Can pretty much decide most of the wars just with his infinite cash at this point. His nation, he's somewhat strong, but he still hasn't ditched stuff and is lacking one idea group in mill. So he will never be relevant on the warfare side to actually win wars, even though his stats besides the morale are actually pretty decent-ish. Like not even building stuff like these coal provinces. So that I don't really get why. Also not taking the coal provinces in. Am I fucking blind? Where the fuck is this supposed to be a coal province? Yeah, I don't get that. Yeah, it's like looking pretty good. It says like I think based country is a player. It's looking pretty good, like as well. But it's like a colonial nation. It's in Africa, South Africa. Oh, very cool, Zebu. Cool cat. Yeah, tongues like most of Madagascar as well. Yeah, pretty much it for Ireland. Yeah, France also looks pretty dead. Kept at mana, brain dead. Not relevant. We're just gobbled up, so I'm not going to waste time. Brandenburg played by old boy Reiji. Also kept on mana because of brain dead AI. Should get some fixes for that. Yeah, otherwise on the military side, of course, impressive strength. Like it's place 4 on the top GP list. It's probably slightly weaker than Prussia at this point. Like the economy is the biggest problem. It's having an impressive army. Overall impressive gain that he managed to come back. It could actually be a big factor in the next war. I guess you can see his like military stats are pretty pog. Can still not pull stuff here and there. So next nation is Prussia. Prussia also with like tons of income, really impressive income, really strong army. Massively overforced and benign morale though. And trading in coal, which is also pretty good. Great absolutism, like the nation is like in the next 6 years it should go to war. So that's pretty much it for Prussia. It's probably the strongest nation on the military side for now. I think it would lose to Byzantium though, and then we come to Byzantium. Yeah, Byzantium is played by me, only 32 ducats because I paid tons of cash to actually get all of this, which is a colonial nation and allows me to do some cool stuff. Yeah, the biggest advantage of revolutionary Byzantium is its gigantic size at this point. It expanded a lot into Persia, secured victory states, is in great shape. It can still take well-developed states in, for example, Tabaristan, in Iraq, Ajam, and I think Mogostan is also kind of decent, so it's a good spot. Overall, the economy is at 1,365 ducats, doing tons of cash, not even raiding at this point because slow-mo got something. Can still pull all the triumphs. I will do that for shit's sake. Plutocratic ideas and traits are no diplomatic, which could bite back at one point. Thanks to plutocratic ideas, it actually has also more durable mercenaries, just 5% less morale of armies, but army trade is not a factor with the triumphs left. Yes, the merchant overall is pretty impressive. It's at 24,550 manpower recovery. which is by far the biggest in the game, can also do this, which allows it to get a manpower pool of nearly 10 million. It has by far the biggest army in the world. It has 10 morale right now, which is literally plus 100%, so we will peak around 12% morale. 133% discipline, can go up to 138 or 12.6 morale, which is like incredibly strong. It's currently by far the strongest military nation in the world, simply by sheer power. Can probably only lose to tank 720 mercenaries, so can pretty much have a standing army of around 2.5 million. Also a member of the European Alliance bloc. To compare Skanderbeg, because I actually think it's kind of interesting to see the change in nations. I am opening up the oldest Skanderbeg from last week. I think it's pretty cool to see how it actually changed. If you take a look at this one, let's compare max manpower, for example. It's changed drastically. For example, here the tank, for example, has made a jump from nearly 500,000. Byzantium made 800,000. Brandenburg made 600,000. Like in 40 years, people got so much stronger, which just shows you how insanely game nations are already in 128.3. I think in 130 it will just get even more retarded and even stronger, which should show you quite a lot in my opinion. But who knows? Is in some way the best it can be. Let's take a look at the total income, the monthly income. Portugal also with an already insane income. Like income also jumped tons. Like Prussia gaining 600, nearly doubling. Byzantium nearly doubling. Tank only making a jump of 160, which is also due to the fact that it lacks expansion ground, but it got a lot of expansion into India. We take a look at average staff. Monkey Man on a pretty box state. And here is the current overview. If we take player countries only, so you can see Spain with the highest average staff. Byzantium actually dropped. Prussia with the insane average monarch. I think you can pretty much see what the average monarch is overall. I think it's quite lower than last time, where you had different values overall. So let's take a look at the military metrics. The overall strength here was kind of close, but you can see a gigantic difference now. Byzantium is far and above stronger on the overall strength modifier than Tang, and even Prussia and Brandenburg right now. It's an over 10k nation, which is pretty cool. 244 effective discipline, pretty good force limit and everything. Yeah, high amount of battle casualties. It's probably the second highest, if I would have to guess. Yeah, second highest, as you can see, did not really jump that much. Didn't really change that much overall. Maybe take a look at military quality overall. I don't really get where it gets the 45% from. Yeah, they can only get to 133%, but yeah. Or you can see not that much difference, just the professionalism is on a pretty good spot. Mana usage overall, you can see power of Maltodox. Upman would be molding right now. Was already molding yesterday. Here, overall total mana, you can see kind of much difference, like it's 13,000 mana difference. Here was 10,000. Like it's a big difference. Ducat usage overall. Let's go to the efficiency matrix. Army strength to death. Byzantium the first in both aspects. Quality score to dev. It's also Byzantium first. Manpower dev percentage is probably Tang. Oh, it's actually not relevant Austria at this point. France is Sugi, Tang, Byzantium. Here, Byzantium dropped a bit to 44.63, which is also due to the conquests. Manpower to dev is 577. So also the distinct score. Where was actually the part of thingy gained per dev? Ah, yes. Totally don't know. But yeah, it's what it is. Thanks for joining the podcast, guys. And yeah, see you next week. Or whenever else, because D4 is a somewhat dead game. Sadly.